The Blue Dress, a screenplay by Dave Riese, based on his short story. Interior, Rebecca's bedroom, morning. A girl's hands work on a needlepoint pillow. They pause when the girl's mother, Edith Wiseman, 44, calls from downstairs.
Rebecca, you'll be late for school.
Rebecca Wiseman, 12, continues with her needlepoint. She is tall, dark-haired, cute but not beautiful, with an intelligent face.
Rebecca.
Rebecca stops sewing with an audible sigh. Sound of a footstep on the stairs.
Do you hear me?
Rebecca packs her needlepoint in her school backpack.
I'm coming.
Interior, Wiseman's downstairs hall, morning. Their home is typical working class. Rebecca's mother, hands on hips, looks up the stairs as Rebecca comes down. Mother is short, stocky, but she looks young even though she is middle-aged.
Let me look at you. I won't have you looking like a rag picker. Be careful of your skirt, it's nothing but patches as it is.
Rebecca's mother straightens her coat and helps with her backpack. Rebecca acts like she can't wait to leave.
Your uncle's coming for a visit, and I want to...
Uncle Wallace? When's he coming?
Dad's meeting him at the train station tomorrow night.
Is that Vera coming with him?
No, she's
She
staying.
never comes.
Try and be happy to see him.
He makes fun of Dad and me for reading too many books.
Becky. There's Jackie, off you go.
Exterior, sidewalk, morning. Jackie, 12, and Rebecca walk to school. Jackie is shorter than Rebecca. She acts older and looks like she enjoys intrigue. They are constantly in motion, waving to friends, skipping over cracks in the sidewalk, bumping into each other.
My uncle is coming to visit.
One from Texas? What do you think he'll bring you as a present?
I don't know, but it's never anything I want.
My aunt always brings me a nice present.
Last year he gave my cousin a ring with her birthstone, so I'm hoping he'll give one to me.
My birthstones are ruby. What's yours?
Emerald.
Oh. Well, I wouldn't count on it. Did you bring your needlepoint?
Wait.
Rebecca stops, shrugs off her backpack, and carefully removes the needlepoint. Jackie is impressed.
Oh, Becky, it's beautiful. What is it?
A pillow. Look, it's from Little Women. Mom will help me sew on the backing.
She probably won't have time with your uncle coming.
Why does he have to come anyway? His armpits are always sweaty.
Interior, Rebecca's bedroom, afternoon. Rebecca is working on her pillow. Hearing her mother in the upstairs hall, she throws it on her bed and pretends to study. Mother enters the room. Her expression says she is not fooled. She picks up the needlepoint.
This is the best work you've ever done.
I have a good teacher.
Mother raises her eyebrows at the fake flattery.
And now your teacher says to finish your homework before you work on it anymore.
Mother places the needlepoint on the bureau.
And when your homework is done, you can finish raking the leaves out front.
Mom, Robert can do it over the weekend.
He won't be home from college this weekend, and your father asked you to do it.
All right.
We all have to help around the house.
If I finish my pillow tonight, will you help me put on the backing tomorrow?
Your uncle will be here. I won't have time tomorrow. Maybe the next day.
Exterior, Wiseman's front yard, afternoon. Rebecca rakes leaves onto a blanket. She pulls the corners of the blanket together and hauls the leaves to the curb. She dumps them and brushes her hands.
What are you doing, young lady?
She hasn't seen her father, Michael, 47, coming up behind her. He is over 6 feet tall, thin, distinguished looking, wears a suit. Startled, she's excited to see him.
Dad!
Rebecca jumps into his arms. He twirls her around,
How's my best girl?
Don't let Mom hear you.
puts her down, and places his finger on his lips. A secret.
We'll burn the leaves after dinner.
Interior hallway looking out to the front porch, evening. Rebecca and her father climb the porch steps. He opens the screen door. Mother comes into the hallway from the kitchen. The parents kiss, more from habit than passion.
Dinner will be ready in a minute.
Mother watches Rebecca take her father into the living room.
Let me put them in.
He gives her his pocket change, which she drops into a jar.
You have to save for retirement.
The car should be fixed before you worry about your retirement. Whenever that'll be.
Mother turns and goes toward the kitchen.
Wash your hands, everyone.
Father grins at Rebecca and ruffles her hair.
It's really for your college.
But I'm only 12.
Interior, Wiseman's dining room, evening. The family is seated at the table. Father is saying grace.
In the Lord's name, amen.
Amen.
Father pauses, then looks up.
I'm ready to eat.
Me too.
Father serves the food and passes the plates.
What time will you and Wallace be back from the station?
Same time as usual, unless the train is late.
I want dinner ready. I expect Wallace will be hungry.
Why does he always wear cowboy stuff?
That's what he wears on his ranch. He's on his horse with his cattle all day.
But there's no cattle around here.
Honestly, I doubt he's out in the range much these days. More like he's stuck in his office on the phone.
Dad, what's a drugstore cowboy?
Where did you hear that?
I don't know.
You don't remember who said it?
She must have heard me talking to Mr. Leclerc.
Mother gives her husband a dark look.
Father was trying to be funny.
I don't get it.
You don't have to. It's not funny, and don't mention it again. And remember to say thank you when he gives you a gift.
I hope he gives me a birthstone ring. He gave one to Emily last year.
She's older than you are, and it's not a ring you wear to school. Besides, don't expect to get an expensive present.
He's certainly rich enough, sitting on all that land in Texas.
He's worked very hard. Hasn't always been easy for him and Vera.
Dad works hard.
Of course he does, but managing a store downtown is different from running a ranch. Who wants dessert?
Sounds good to me.
Mother goes in the kitchen. Father leans towards Rebecca.
After dessert, young lady, how about you and me burn some leaves?
Exterior sidewalk outside house, evening. The sun is setting. The flames from the pile of leaves are high. Rebecca is thrilled. Woman at window watches them. Rebecca waves. The pile collapses and sparks shoot up.
Why is Uncle Wallace coming to visit?
He's here on business and wanted to see us.
How long is he going to stay?
Not long. Don't you like hearing stories about his cattle ranch?
No. He always tells me I read too much.
You can never read too much. That's why you're so smart.
He says I'll have to wear glasses someday and boys won't talk to me. And he always tries to grab and tickle me.
Smiling, Father rakes more leaves onto the pile. He puts his arms around her shoulders. Rebecca looks across the street. Man on porch looks concerned. Mother comes onto the porch, carrying a pail of water. She's upset.
Michael, that fire's too high. The neighbors will call the firehouse.
He takes the pail and pours water on the fire. Steam rises. Interior upstairs hallway in Wiseman's home, night. Coming from the bathroom, Rebecca hears her parents talking downstairs. She sits on the top step to hear them better.
I don't think Rebecca will get her ring.
Rebecca makes a face to show her disappointment.
He's filthy rich. Would it hurt him to spend more and get her something she wants for a change?
He always buys something nice for my sister's daughter.
Rebecca tiptoes to her room and closes the door. Fade to black. Interior Rebecca's bedroom, afternoon. Rebecca stands by the window watching her father and uncle walk up the street. Uncle Wallace carries an overnight bag. Uncle Wallace, 55, is tall, portly, and tanned. He wears cowboy clothes, boots, vest, cowboy hat. On a less imposing man, this getup would look ridiculous. Passers-by stare at him.
Mom, they're here.
Sound of mother running down the hall and opening the front door. Heavy footsteps on the porch.
Wallace, it's so good to see you.
Calamade left in a do-si-do.
Oh, Wallace, put me down.
Interior Wiseman's upstairs hallway, afternoon. Listening to this, Rebecca makes a face, shakes her head.
Skip to the loo, my darling. I need a drink. That train ride worked my nerves something awful. Bourbon, please, and make it neat.
Michael, bring it to the table. Dinner's ready. Rebecca, dinner.
Interior Wiseman's dining room, evening. In the dining room, Rebecca tries to sneak by her uncle. He reaches out and catches her. She squirms when he tries to tickle her. She only lets him kiss her once.
How's my favorite bookworm?
I'm fine. How are your cows?
Aunt Vera sends her love. She's sorry she can't be here.
How's she feeling?
Better. Still a little tired. Fine cooking, Edith.
Dissolved to same scene later in the meal. Wallace is in mid-sentence. During the conversation, Michael looks both bored and irritated. He tries to keep smiling. Wallace talks with his mouth full, rarely expects a reply.
Some get up and go. You can't be store manager all your life. You read too many books. That's your problem, not me. I read magazines, not just about cattle ranching.
Wallace holds out his plate to Edith.
More of that delicious chicken. Hell, Michael, it's 1951. You gotta read the Wall Street Journal and Fortune. They'll get your juices flowing.
I looked them over on my lunch hour at the library. Too conservative for my taste. I prefer the Statesman.
That commie rag? Those Reds will take the banks over, along with everything else. Your boss won't trust you if he sees you reading that horse shit.
He's very pleased with...
That's all well and good, but you don't be stuck here all your life. Think big. My sister deserves better. You won't go ahead reading books your whole life. You don't see me on my ass.
I hardly sit around, Wallace. There's more to managing a store than you think. Besides, I read novels to relax.
Hell, I don't have time to relax. You're getting harebrained ideas from writers like that commie Sinclair.
Upton or Lewis?
For a moment, Wallace is caught off guard, suspicious that he's being teased. He looks around the table.
What?
Are you talking about Sinclair Lewis, who wrote Main Street?
Wallace acts dumbfounded as if he can't believe his ears.
Or do you mean Upton Sinclair, the author of The Jungle?
Oh, one of those guys, goddammit. People need to wake.
Dessert, anyone?
Let's have it on the side porch.
Wallace stands up, his napkin still tucked under his chin.
Let me get my bag. I'll be right down.
Wallace leaves the dining room. Mother carries some plates to the kitchen. Father leans toward Rebecca and winks.
I guess you showed him.
He always says mean things.
Half the time he doesn't mean it. He just likes to hear himself talk. Now go help your mother with the dishes.
Michael leaves the dining room just as Edith comes back from the kitchen. The sound of Uncle Wallace coming downstairs.
Another drink, Wallace?
Don't mind if I do.
Sound of the front screen door opening and closing.
I'll do the dishes if you have homework to do.
I'll help you clear.
Through the front window, they watch Father and Uncle Wallace walk toward the side porch.
Try to be happy to see your uncle.
I'll try.
He won't be here long, and he does look forward to seeing you.
Exterior, Wiseman's house, from street, evening. Father and Uncle Wallace talking. Sounds of dishes being washed. Exterior, Wiseman's side porch, evening. A plain porch with cane furniture and a bare bulb. The uncle's bag is open beside his chair. A bottle is on the table. Rebecca and Mother come around from the front porch.
There they are. Time to open presents. Come over here beside me, Rebecca.
Rebecca instead takes a seat beside her parents. Uncle Wallace holds up the bottle.
This is for you, Michael. Peach brandy.
It looks delicious, Wallace.
You can do the honors. It's my favorite after-dinner drink.
Rebecca is sarcastic, impatient, and anxious about her gift.
Mine too.
She's ignored. Wallace passes a box to his sister.
It's made by Indians with stones from the southwest.
She holds up a necklace.
Oh, it's lovely, Wallace. Thank you.
Wallace takes his glass with the brandy from Michael.
Here's to your good health and family. Ah, and this is for you, young lady, from your Aunt Vera.
Wallace hands a package wrapped in brown paper to Rebecca. She's disappointed. It's not a ring. Unwrapping it, Rebecca takes it halfway out of the box. It's a blue dress.
Rebecca, stand up. Let's see it.
When Rebecca stands, the material unfolds in front of her.
Oh, Wallace, it's exquisite. Such a beautiful color.
Have you ever remembered that blue was your favorite color? She knew you'd like it.
Does she know my favorite color?
No one listens to her. Mother takes the dress from Rebecca.
Let's go inside where the light's better.
Wallace and Edith cross the porch toward the front door.
The dress was Vera's,
With a few alterations, it should fit perfectly.
and she only wore it once.
Wallace takes Edith's arm. Rebecca pushes ahead of them. Interior hallway, evening. Rebecca is upset and starts up the stairs to her room.
Where are you going?
It's late. I have homework.
Aren't you forgetting your manners?
Thank you, Uncle Wallace.
She hesitates, wondering if this is thanks enough. She decides it isn't.
For the dress.
You're welcome, young lady. Good night, and don't stay up reading all night.
Interior Rebecca's bedroom, evening. Rebecca is upset and crying. She pounds her knees in anger.
I hate it. I hate it.
Fade to black. Exterior sidewalk, early morning. Rebecca and Jackie are walking to school. Rebecca is unhappy. Jackie is sympathetic.
He gave me a dress. It looks old-fashioned and it's too long.
Can't your mother shorten it?
She can shorten it up to here. And it smells. They didn't even wash it.
Disgusting. What are you gonna do?
I don't know. But I'll think of something.
Interior Rebecca's bedroom, afternoon. Rebecca is studying at her desk. Mother enters the bedroom.
I have time to help you with your pillow,
Great.
but then I want you to try on Vera's dress to see what needs to be taken in.
Rebecca isn't happy about this bargain, but doesn't argue.
I've already made a velvet backing for the pillow.
They sit side by side on the bed. Mother starts to sew.
Remember to take your time. It's not a race. You don't want to take it apart and start over.
Rebecca concentrates on her mother's fingers.
Now you try it.
Rebecca takes the pillow and sticks in the needle.
Ouch.
Right. You want to avoid sticking yourself. Make sure the thread isn't twisted. Now pull it tight. Excellent.
Rebecca grins. She loves the praise and is happy to have learned a new skill.
See, it's not so difficult once you know what to do.
Mother takes the pillow to show her how to sew the corner.
Tighten each each corner to keep the velvet from bunching along the seam. You don't want the corners curling up when the pillow lies flat.
Mother turns the pillow over to examine the stitching.
It's beautiful. You should be very proud.
I'm giving it to Mrs. Lefebvre for Christmas. She always knows the best books to read. I want it to be the best gift she ever gets at school.
You're giving it to your teacher after all that work? Well, think about it.
Rebecca knows her mother doesn't think it's a good idea.
Or you could donate it to the church fair.
Rebecca is horrified. Mother gets up to go downstairs.
Come, your aunt's dress is downstairs.
Interior Wiseman's upstairs hallway, afternoon. Rebecca carries the pillow, follows her mother into the hall.
We won't have enough time before dinner, and I have to set the table.
Mother walks down the stairs ahead of Rebecca.
We have plenty of time. Uncle Wallace is taking us out to dinner. In a taxi.
Rebecca stops on the stairs. Nothing works out her way.
I bought a new package of cotton batting. I thought I had enough left over, but I can't find it anywhere.
Rebecca continues down the stairs. Interior Wiseman's living room, afternoon. While Rebecca slips out of her school uniform, her mother smooths the dress out. She lowers it over Rebecca's head.
Ow, it's caught on my barrette.
Rebecca has trouble getting her head through the opening.
Careful, don't rip it. Wait, I need to unbutton it.
Rebecca gets up on a stool. Her mother kneels on the rug.
You're almost as tall as your aunt. Blue is a perfect color for you.
Rebecca leans over and smells the underarms. She makes a face. Her mother has pins in her mouth. She mumbles throughout the scene.
Rebecca, don't fidget.
Rebecca concentrates on turning around on the stool without bobbing. She looks down at her mother.
Why doesn't Aunt Vera ever come to visit?
Some people just don't like to travel. They're happy just staying at home.
Is she sick?
She was for a while.
Why don't they have any children?
Rebecca's mother pauses while checking the hem with a tape measure. She doesn't look up at Rebecca.
They had a baby, but it died.
Rebecca reaches down and pats her mother's hair as if she needs to be consoled.
Such a beautiful dress. Wait till you see yourself in the mirror.
Rebecca sees her father and Uncle Wallace climbing the stairs to the porch.
They're here.
Rebecca tries to step off the stool, but her mother is holding the dress.
Mom, we can finish it tomorrow.
Before her mother releases the dress, the front door opens. Rebecca turns her back to the hallway. She feels exposed.
We're home. Are you ready?
The uncle falls silent. Rebecca wants to see what's happening, but is too embarrassed to turn around.
My God. Vera?
Uncle Wallace is shaken by mistaking Rebecca for his wife.
Doesn't she look lovely?
She's a beauty. A real heartbreaker. What a shame she can't wear it tonight.
Blushing, Rebecca jumps off the stool, one hand clutching the dress in front of her. She doesn't stop to grab her needlepoint or her school uniform.
I'll be right down.
Interior Rebecca's bedroom, afternoon. Rebecca yanks the dress over her head as if hoping to rip it. She bunches it into a ball and throws it into the corner. Sitting on her bed, she pounds her knees with her fists. Interior living room, afternoon. Uncle Wallace is examining the needlepoint. He turns to Edith.
Did she really do this all by herself?
Edith nods with pride. Rebecca comes into the living room.
You'll be as good as your aunt before you know it.
He holds the pillow up to catch the evening light.
She'd love to see your work. It might encourage her to start again.
Rebecca acts suspicious. Her father is at the front door.
Taxi's here.
Wallace holds out his arm to his sister.
Your carriage awaits, my dear.
Rebecca walks behind her uncle to the taxi. Getting into the back seat with her mother, she expels a deep breath.
That's a big sigh.
I'm just thinking.
Rebecca leans against her mother while her father gets in beside her and closes the door. Interior living room, evening. Rebecca and her mother are listening to a comedy show on the radio. Michael comes home. He acts ill at ease and distracted.
How's Wallace?
He's feeling better.
What did the doctor say?
Michael listens to the radio, but doesn't laugh at the jokes.
Michael,
He's startled back to the present.
What?
the doctor, what does he think?
Well, probably food poisoning.
Rebecca smiles slightly. She moves closer to the radio and turns up the volume, but she listens to her parents.
He's going up to Laval tomorrow.
Why is he going all the way up there?
He has business there.
What business does he have up there?
The radio show is over, and the theme music plays.
He swore me to secrecy.
To her surprise, Rebecca's father turns off the radio. He sits in his chair, leaning forward, massaging his forehead. Rebecca watches her mother, whose slight shrug says, "Don't ask me." Her father speaks to Rebecca without looking at her.
Do you remember when Uncle Wallace was admiring your needlepoint? He says you're very talented.
Michael seems unhappy when he looks up, but Rebecca can tell he's avoiding the main issue.
He'd like it very much if you'd let him take your needlepoint back as a present for Vera.
Rebecca is stunned. She can't believe he's saying this.
No, I won't.
Michael, you didn't say she would, did you? She's giving it to her teacher.
It's not fair. I've never even met Aunt Vera. Why should I give her anything?
Her father is embarrassed, but his voice is still calm.
Uncle Wallace has given you many gifts.
Nothing he ever made. He just buys things I don't want. And he didn't even buy that dress. Tell him I don't have to. I won't have time to make another one for my teacher.
Michael, tell my brother she'll send Vera something around Christmas.
Her father sighs, looks miserable, but is out of patience.
I'll throw it away before I give it to him.
No, you won't. If you don't tell him, Michael, I will.
No longer reasonable, the father stands up suddenly angry.
She will give him the pillow to him, and that's final.
Rebecca bursts into tears.
He can take that smelly old dress back. I hate it.
Rebecca runs for the stairs. Edith shakes her head, giving her husband an angry look. Interior, Rebecca's bedroom, evening. Rebecca runs up to her room and slams the door. She falls onto her bed in tears. The front door slams. Exterior, Wiseman's home from street, night. Interior, Rebecca's bedroom, night. The bedside light is on. Upset and shaking, Rebecca works on her needlepoint pillow. She hears the front door opening and her father's footsteps in the hall.
No, I didn't talk to him.
His voice is so loud she can hear him clearly all the way from the kitchen. She cannot hear her mother's reply.
Yes, if you must know, I've had 3 drinks.
The sound of the porch door banging against the house. Rebecca puts her hands inside the pillow. It needs stuffing added, and the last side stitched closed. She sees her mother's pinking shears on her desk. Beside them lies the new unopened package of cotton batting. The dress is draped over a chair. A knock on the door. Rebecca's mother enters and, without speaking, hugs her daughter, rocking silently back and forth.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Over her mother's shoulder, Rebecca stares at the blue dress. Exterior, sidewalk on way to school, morning. Jackie notices that Rebecca is grinning mischievously.
What have you done?
I thought of something.
What?
Promise you won't tell a soul.
Cross my heart and hope to die.
Rebecca stops and whispers in her ear. Jackie's eyes widen.
I'll teach him.
He'll never know.
Fade to black. Interior, Rebecca's bedroom, morning. Rebecca is writing a note to Aunt Vera. She thinks for a moment and then signs her name. The letter finished, she wraps the pillow in the brown paper the dress came in. She slips the note into an envelope and tapes it to the top of the package. The sound of a car horn. Looking out the window, Rebecca sees her parents hurrying down the walk toward a new car at the curb. Her uncle gets out of the car and speaks to her father, pointing at the car. Edith runs to hug her brother. Exterior, front of the Wiseman's house, morning. Uncle Wallace and Rebecca's parents stand beside a new royal blue Chevrolet. The chrome glitters in the sunlight. Sound of porch door opening.
There she is. Rebecca, come see your dad's new car.
Rebecca drops Aunt Vera's package on the porch swing and runs up to her father. She can't help but be excited.
When can we go for a ride?
Hold your horses, sweetheart. You'll have your chance in a minute.
Rebecca slides one hand along the paint. She stares into the dark blue color. Her reflection is distorted.
It's a beauty, Wallace. Thank you.
We'll be quite hoity-toity driving around town.
Nothing's too good for my baby sister.
I'll make some coffee before we go to the station.
Interior, kitchen, morning. They sit around the kitchen table drinking coffee. Rebecca, seated beside her mother, is impatient to be in the new car. Rebecca's father looks at her, raises his eyebrows, and bobs his head toward Wallace. Rebecca frowns and shakes her head. He does it again and mouths the words, "the present." Rebecca leaves the kitchen to get the package from the porch.
It's the first new car I've ever owned.
Uncle Wallace smiles, enjoying the praise for his largesse. Rebecca returns to the kitchen.
Uncle Wallace, this is for Aunt Vera, to thank her for my blue dress.
Uncle Wallace is obviously touched by her gesture.
Thank you, Rebecca. Your aunt will always treasure this.
There's a card for Aunt Vera.
Wallace puts on his reading glasses and opens the card.
Let's see. Dear Aunt Vera, thank you for the dress. It is very beautiful. I'm sending you a pillow I made. When you rest your head on the pillow, think of me wearing your blue dress. Love, Rebecca.
Wallace looks up at Rebecca with genuine kindness.
Your aunt will be touched by your kindness. This is the nicest present she could get.
Rebecca responds to his words and allows him to kiss her. Uncle Wallace is suddenly embarrassed by his emotion.
Now, where's my ride? Can't be late for the train.
The two men leave the kitchen. Rebecca picks up the coffee cups and carries them to the sink.
We'll do these later. Put the bottle of milk in the fridge.
Exterior, new car with porch and background, morning. Rebecca's father is in the driver's seat. Uncle Wallace opens the back door when he sees Rebecca and her mother.
In you go, ladies.
Our carriage awaits.
The women start to get into the car. Interior, new car, morning. The women settle down against the soft cushions. Edith rubs her hand on the upholstery.
It's very comfortable, Michael.
Wallace gets into the car as Michael looks back at his wife.
Isn't this the life?
Michael starts the car. Wallace gestures with the pillow.
A fair trade, don't you think, Michael?
Edith leans over and pats Rebecca's knee.
I noticed the new package of cotton batting wasn't open when I changed your bed this morning.
Rebecca acts guilty and looks away. Edith begins to smile.
Did you find the other package that was opened? I've looked everywhere for it.
Rebecca turns to look at her mother. She thinks she's in trouble.
Oh, and I found this on the floor of your bedroom.
Her mother holds up a scrap of the blue dress. She puts her finger on her lips. Michael releases the clutch. The car moves down the street. Fade to black.